Alright guys, here is an exceptional song and the ability to learn how to solo over it. Now before we begin, I'm not doing any particular style, even though the mindset that we're going over, I'm very big on mindset. For everyone who has subscribed to my channel, you understand I'm really big on discovering the whys behind it. So when you're soloing on this, you're going to learn the whys, but then as the lessons go on, you'll be able to do it in your own style. So, Little Wing. Alright, so a lot of people cover this lots of people cover it. So you're going to learn how to solo on it with the right mindset, but with your style. So here we go. So the most important thing to Little Wing is understanding the chord progression. All right. So very simply, it's not so simple when you're playing it like Hendrix, but very simply you have an E, actually E minor, excuse me. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And then a G major. And then A minor. And back to E minor. Then a B minor. Walk it to the A minor, and a C, and then a G, and an F, and then a C, and a D. And we hold the D for a little bit. Bum, 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 bum. Back to E minor, okay? So there is our chord progression, so study that, and it'll be on the screen, obviously, and again, there will be a chart coming for it, so we have to know our chord progression for Little Wing. Okay, so now that we have the chord progression out of the way, and if you wrote it down or anything, you have this in front of you, this mess of chords. But let's really take a look at what's happening here. So let's take a look at the first bunch of chords. You have E minor, G major, A minor, back to E minor. Then we have that B minor, walk it to the A minor, and then a C, and then a G. Right there, okay, so we stop there. So all of those chords, believe it or not, are in the major key of G major. And if you've watched, and you should watch, my relative major, relative minor lesson video, G major is the same exact scale structure as E minor. So these guys go together, and we're starting this on an E minor, okay? So home is the E minor, so we can call this an aeolian or a minor progression for those of you who watch my modes videos. All right, we have an E minor starting the song off, but this is all in the key of G. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the G major scale is going to encompass a lot of solo work over this. Now, there's two ways to solo over this. We're going to go over one way, all right? And by the way, we're going to be using all of Form 1 pentatonic today. And I know it's like another, but yeah, but like honestly, you'll see it makes sense. So we are going to use the G major scale, but really we're going to flip it in our brains and make it the E minor scale. So just in case you're brand new to the StichMethod, here's your E minor pentatonic. Alright, so it's an E minor, same exact scale as G major. Okay, these are both E minors and G majors, depending on where we make it home. Alright, so now, really quickly, if you look at the notes inside of a G major, G major or E minor pentatonic, any which way, you have E, okay, you have G, you have A, B, D, E. E, G, A, B, D, E. Alright, so now, if you listen, E, that note in there is the first note in the chord. To a G, second chord note, and then we have the A, and then back to the E. Then it goes from B down to A, okay, and then it has this G and F part. So we're going to talk about just those first several chords. So what I'm going to do now, just to show you what's happening, is I'm going to use that E minor scale over that first progression, over that first part. It moves quick, but I have a backing track. By the way, I am in standard tuning. I know Hendrix tunes down to E flat. It's all the same stuff, no matter how you tune it. So we're as in if it's an E flat, everything's going to be a half step down. So we're in regular standard tuning because I guarantee you when you turned on this video, you were in standard tuning. Why should I make you tune down? Okay, anyway, so there we go. So I have this backing track. It's going to start It's going to start really quick. I'm going to shout out. I'm going to use the notes, and I know where all those notes are. We're going to discuss that in a second. But I'm going to play with my Form 1 pentatonic and just put the right note on top of the right chord progression. It starts on E. Starts rather quickly. Here we go. E, G, A, E, B, There, we got to just change our game for a second, all right? So now, that is the first. I know it's moving quickly, but honestly, we have an E minor pentatonic, same as a G major pentatonic, and we have the first couple sets of chords that really you could hone in the E minor pentatonic and play. And by the way, Hendrix does that, all right? So he's done the E minor pentatonic and he's pointing out those notes. So now it goes from where we ended off is B minor, walk it to the A minor. There's a quick C. Okay, so we have this quick C. So how do we take care of that C? Well, it's such a quick C. Now the thing is, if you watch my relative major and relative minor video, A minor is the same exact thing as same exact key as C major. So since this is such a quick chord change, what I'm going to show you is right here on the 13th fret here, 13th fret of the B, that's a C. Also, the 15th fret is on the A string is a C as well. Now, if you watch my major pentatonic, I'm referencing so many lessons, that G major and C, that's the 4, and it's very common we bring the 4 in. So here, right here and here, in this E minor pentatonic, okay, we can bring in the C note for that exact moment. So rewind it, and I'm going to show you, we're going to go right to that C, okay? This is how to improvise, and here we go. E, G, A, E, B, A, C, boom. All right, now, again, the chart below, in the link below, will have where those notes are in the pentatonic, okay? So if in case you need it. So all we're doing, really, is staying in this form 1 pentatonic for majority of the song. We're bringing in a chord tone that's not in the scale per se. It's in the actual full diatonic scale, which means the full minor scale. But really, the sound of Hendrix and soloing is more based on the pentatonics. So we're bringing in that chord tone, okay? We're bringing in that C. So then, all of a sudden, we have this crazy cool chord change of G, ba-ba to the F, and then a C, and then a D. Okay, now, this part here, it's just totally awesome when you're hearing the song. So what do we do? Okay, well, we have a G major. Okay, fantastic. E minor and G major are the same exact scale, so you can stay right there. And then to the F. Well, if you look here, the chord G to F is separated by 2 frets, so a G major pentatonic on the 12th fret, 15th fret, that's my son. He just got hurt. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and make sure everything's okay. Son is totally fine. Don't worry. He was with the wife and my other kid. He fell off the couch, banged his head, but he's fine. Daddy saved the day. Little head rub and a hug. All right, back to where we were. Sorry about that. All right, so you have your G, all right, and then we go to our F. Now, if you look here, I was saying before the terrible accident, but he's good now. We have the G, and then if you look here, the F is 2 frets away. So look, we have a G major pentatonic here, or E minor pentatonic, both the same thing, okay? E minor, G major, same thing. So the concept is, well, if that's there, then guess what? 2 frets down, boom, F major. So you have an F major pentatonic, and then back up to where we were. We have a G major pentatonic. So I'm going to rewind again, and just watch for this part. The reason I keep rewinding, it's hard to spot, but I'm going to play with the E minor pentatonic through that chord progression, knowing where my notes are. I'm going to bring in the C in that little tiny moment, and that C is going to cue us for, hey, here comes that cool G part. Okay, to the F. Here we go. E. G, A, E, B, A, C, here we go, G, F, okay, and now that was the G to F, and then then we have C. Okay, C major, which the pinky in the pentatonic, that's a good way to remember it. Pinky in the pentatonic is your major root note, so C major. All right, there it is. Okay, C, 8th fret, 5th fret, first finger, form 1 pentatonic. Okay, and then it's C, boom, C here, to D, all right, so D is 2 frets up. There it is, D major. And this is where Hendrix ends, all right? So we have C at the end to D, and he hangs on the D for, I think, 2 measures before it comes around. So here's the whole thing. Now, before we begin, E minor pentatonic is going to take care of like 60% of the song. Then we pop in the C major and that little tiny C change, and then we go from G major to F, right? And then we go from C to D. You can hit the chord tones if you like when you're moving. You can just change your scale. Back up. When you're moving those chords, the G to F, the C and D, you can, if you want to, hit the chord change, the root note on the chord, or you can just hit some notes in the pentatonic. They're going to bind really very well together. So you find that if you hit the root note, it's very, very like bing, bing, boom, boom. But really, if you just hit stuff in the pentatonic, it sounds a little bit better. You don't have to be so obvious as into here's my root note. All right. So here we go. Let's see what it sounds like from the beginning. E, G, A, E, B, A, C, G, F, C, D. Back to E. G. A. E. B. A. C. G. F. C. D. Okay. Boom, 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 bam. Oh, ended it right on time. All right, so listen to me. Listen very carefully. This is not in the style, my solo is not in the style of Hendrix. I don't play like Hendrix, like his inflections, but this is the mindset of what he's doing, what anybody who covers a Little Wing is doing. All right, so to make a long story short, we have this, again, just to recap, I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want to nail it home. The first several chords really stick within the key of G or E minor. We can say E minor because we're using E minor scale, and we can highlight those notes in the E minor scale. And then it has a very quick C chord, boom, and we can highlight that C note right on that chord change. And then after that, we're going to be changing our scales with the chords. G major scale to a G major chord, F major scale to an F major chord, C major scale to a C major chord, and then D major scale to a D major chord. We're using basic pentatonics right now. Again, 98% of Hendrix's style was very creative fingerwork on a pentatonic. So getting familiar and seeing them with your eyes as you're playing is super important, okay? So I hope that made sense. Again, there will be a chart linked below just showing you where the notes are on the pentatonics and where the pentatonics are per chord. And the whole song is that chord progression over and over and over again. What you hear in the background is not my son crying anymore. That's a laughter. They're laughing now. See, all is good. I saved the day. I promise. All right. Thank you so much for all of your time. I hope this really made sense and helped out. And hopefully it brought a little bit of closure to the mystery of how to solo over Little Wing. Bye-bye, guys.